become clear in just a few minutes why we're in the dark. So a roll call of DDA board members. Cindy Clark. Here. Russ Collins. Bob Gunzel. Roger Hewitt.
Here.
Joan Lowenstein. Here. Al McWilliams.
Here.
John Loa.
Here.
Rishi Narayan. Keith Orr.
Here.
Steve Powers.
Here.
Sandy Smith.
Here.
John Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Outstanding. Can I suggest that we move Sherry Brown to the beginning? For some strange reason. Please, tell us what this is all about.
This is all about being wonderful. Thank you very much. This weekend, Wonderful Productions will present Full Moon on Friday evening and Festivals on Sunday afternoon. And you may wonder why you have these beautiful moons in front of you. And they are for you. They have now been through their full orbit cycle, 3 years. So we have retired them and presented them to the DDA. You may wonder why the DDA gets these lovely moons. Because the DDA believed in the foolishness that we put out on the streets. There came a year when the DDA was no longer entertaining fee waivers for bagged meters from special events. And for our very tiny organization, in its second year presenting Full Moon, it was kind of a make or break deal. The DDA has recognized, I think, the value of cultural events downtown, and we were the new kid, but we thought we were special. And I think the DDA also recognized that, so commissioned meter moons. These moons were placed on the parking meters that the DDA waived the fee for. So small for you, big for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to recognize a star amongst your moons.
I hope it's me.
That is.
I'm standing up. She says I can stand up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I hope you all come. Thank you very much for recognizing the value of these wonderful cultural events that we put on in Ann Arbor. There's so much in Ann Arbor. I also would like to recognize someone else. You have amongst you somebody from the city of Ann Arbor, and we would like to make sure that the city of Ann Arbor also has a moon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, you're a two-headed moon.
Yeah.
Very handsome. Very handsome. Very nice.
This city also does a great deal to support special events in downtown. So thank you to the city. And you can turn your lights on now.
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
So should we all?
We could all do that. It would be very much in the spirit of
There we go.
Sherry, remind us when this event is.
Pardon?
Remind us.
Friday night.
When does it start?
It starts at 6 o'clock in front of Grizzly Peak, who's also been a great supporter of ours. They brew a beer called Full Brew. We would love to see you there. The Full Brew tent opens at 6. There will be live music. You can buy yourself, or we will buy for you, a Full Brew. The luminaries that the community makes, so we'll have hundreds of luminaries that over the last month or so have been made by members of the community, coming from Slauson, Carytown, and the University of Michigan Museum of Art will meander their way through town and then come down to Washington and Ashley Streets, samba music this year, samba drummers this year from Brazil. So it'll be a grand time. And then there's all kinds of light-based activities that will take place until about 11 o'clock at night. Your new ACA, the Ann Arbor Apartments, is now the backdrop for our event. And they are working with us and an artist to present a special laser show. So DDA gets involved in this in many, many, many ways. Thank you.
Nice. And then on Sunday?
Sunday Festivals. Meanwhile, you can buy these at Full Moon and be a part of the event. Thank you. And support us. We need money.
Thank you.
So thanks so much.
Just set it aside. You can't see anything.
If you, on your lights, if you just poke the top twice, it will go off.
Very nice. Thank you. Our next speaker, Changmin Bond, please, at the podium.
Well, thank you. I'm honored, I'm excited, I'm nervous, because here is another competitor. And my name is Changmin Fan, the president of the Tiny Light World, inventor of Tiny Light. As everybody already know, except some of the newcomers, we produce and manufacture, distributed a new kind of product.
Sir, can you speak into the microphone? Because we're filming this.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry about that. This new technology, again using LED, which is this city, Ann Arbor, 2005, 2007, 2008, lead this nation, put LED on the street, in the air. We are going to move this technology to a higher level as we have prepared since 1996. Again, it's a Tiny Light, T-I-N-I-L-I-T-E. You're going to see the new website. You're going to have a new business card. What this technology is, interconnect physically, electrically, digitally, combined with 6 clean technology. First thing, we want to help the small business retailers in downtown Ann Arbor, in the whole area, and also for the general public interest and safety. We need to learn more, and we need at least have a space. We are considering to have the open space in downtown area. And meantime, we need to learn more how we can put this movement further, have a new kind of democratic movement, and to let people have new voice using our Tiny Light. We call that smart social science services. I'm honored and encouraged by some of your members and to give me support, and there are times I learned quite a lot. I want to continue to learn more, and hopefully that this year we can put a new kind of light 100 feet higher in the downtown Ann Arbor, just like a park, and that will be information on there. I do need to learn more, and also honored by Steve Power, and I presented for about 5 minutes. And Steve, that if anybody wants to see that 4 megabytes of the slideshows and 1 minute video, and with my permission, if that possible, can just contact Mr. Steve. Again, my name is Changmin Fan, inventor of Tiny Light. We like to really continue this legacy of the LEDs and also new kind of democratic movement. And that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How many minutes?
You had about 10 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Oh, it's over. Sorry.
I said something. I tried to cut it, but nobody shut me up.
Our next speaker is Alan Haber. And you have 4 minutes, Alan.
4 minutes. Well, hello all. Most of you I know, some new faces here. I'm Alan Haber. I'm a longtime champion of the library lot becoming a Ann Arbor Civic Center and heart of the community, and developed for public use. And in particular, when as you know, the City Council determined that some of that land is going to ultimately be designated as park of indeterminate northern boundary, and encouraged in the meantime, until final determination is made, that it be available for public events and activities, and such as the Festivals kind of stuff that's good for the people and community. And the next big opportunity for that is on Earth Day, this coming April 22. And so I'm representing, besides myself, a lot of people who would like to see a festival for Earth Day on that weekend, Saturday the 19th of April, Sunday the 20th, Monday the 21, and Tuesday, April 22, which is Earth Day all around the world. So I'm putting together a permit application for special events. As you, some of you remember when, must have been like 2 years ago, but anyhow, when I was trying to, with my colleague Stuart Gordon, develop a temporary, to see how it works, skating rink there that did not follow through for various reasons. You were a little unsettled as to your relation with the city council and what your latitudes were. And the city attorney never actually managed, in spite of a number of requests, to get back to us on the questions we had about liability. But it would be very nice if DDA would sort of undertake, as you did a couple of years ago, July 14th, 2012, to be encouraging of this event on the library lot. We'd hope we could maybe have the whole of the parking area. And if there is a way that you could be a partner in the development of this, we would really love it. It's a great opportunity for Earth Day. The weather's getting better and better. It'll be a good Ann Arbor spring party. So I would hope, and this is in some way notice, announcement, invitation, that there could be a collaborative effort to do a really nice thing on there and begin to see how the future of that space could be understood as hosting public events. And so Earth Day weekend this year, we would like to have a public event and invite you all to participate and make it as easy bureaucratically, fees and all that, as you possibly can. And it should be very nice. And that is my message. So thank you all. I hope it works out. We will go through our permit kind of thing, but collaboration of the relevant city agencies, of which you are one of the most relevant, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. We now have reports from city boards and commissions. Ray Detter, the Downtown Area Citizens Advisory Council.
Last night's CAC meeting, we were very pleased to have a potential new member, Felicia Flores. You may know her. She's a new and very pleased resident of City Apartments, as well as being the manager of Salva's Restaurant on State Street. And let me say again, I said this before, if there's any one of you that knows of someone who lives in the Downtown Development Authority area and has an interest in being involved in helping to shape the developments in the downtown area, please let them know that we would welcome them as new members. We meet the first Tuesday of every month, 7 o'clock p.m. in City Council's workroom. Last night, we felt, because we had a new member, it was an appropriate time to review some of our positions on current issues that affect the downtown. First of all, last night we talked about it and we unanimously support the expansion of public transit services in Ann Arbor and passage of the tax proposal on the May 6th ballot. We want better bus service on nights and weekends, redesign routes, reaching more destinations and more frequent trips. And we do believe, like others, that this will result in improved quality of life for all of us by reducing traffic congestion, protecting the environment, and sparking economic opportunity. And maybe we won't have to build any more large parking structures in the downtown area. And secondly, we continue to support the City Council's wise decision in January to make changes in D1 downtown zoning that will eliminate the mistakes that were made in the past. The Planning Commission has been instructed to provide recommendations to do that, and we are in very strong support of hiring a competent urban planning consultant firm to advise Council and also the Planning Commission in ways to do that. In relation to that goal, we also intend to continue to advocate for strengthening the power of our Design Review Board, and also Planning Commission and City Council to produce better designed buildings that do not have negative impacts upon their neighbors, particularly in the case of scale and massing. We spent a lot of time last night discussing recent decisions of City Council that reduced the ability of the Public Arts Commission to carry out its mission. Public art program, we all know at this particular is going to have to be changed, reshaped. But we downtown residents wish to say that we appreciate the Art Commission's efforts over the years. Its members have made valuable contributions to Ann Arbor and the arts community. We will continue to support all efforts of the city, individuals, groups, and organizations to make sure that commitment to more public art installations remains an important community goal. And finally, we continue to strongly support the development of a significantly sized public plaza on Fifth Avenue side of the library lot, as well as the use of a major part of Library Lane for scheduled community activities. We also support pedestrian walkways to Liberty Plaza and an additional plaza development that is sensitive to the needs of the public library and possible connections to the Blake Transit Center and nearby historical properties and districts. But we also believe that any planning for that library site must include the possibility of a new tax-producing private development on the major part of the property. We also believe that any future development should be encouraged to work cooperatively to integrate itself with and complement the adjoining public plaza and spaces. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. We now have John Kotarski and Bob Miller, the Ann Arbor Public Art Commission.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm John Kotarski. I'm the Vice Chair of the Ann Arbor Public Art Commission. I have a little slideshow for you. We'd like to show you the winning proposal for Stadium Bridges, the final proposal that will be going up soon. And with me is my colleague and good friend Bob Miller, who is the Chair of the Public Art Commission. There, technology is great. Excuse me. Before I show you these slides, I want to review a little bit about that process. It's very important. It actually started in 2011, and the task force, of which Bob is chair of that task force, spent over 50 hours working on this. So it's a well thought through process and submission. That there were 32 submitted, and of those 32, 4 finalists. We hosted various trips, brought them in to get to know them, let them get to know Ann Arbor, and the project goals for that particular project was to unify both the underpass on State Street, which was a major gateway, and Stadium Bridge going into town, which was another gateway, and connect the neighborhoods and complement the different types of transportation, walking, biking, and roads. So that we're constantly asked this. I want to review it. Why not a local artist? Well, frankly, the city attorney said we can't do that for a national open competition. It's illegal to prevent someone from Cleveland coming in and applying for this competition. Just like if Cleveland had an open competition for artwork, we wouldn't want Ann Arbor artists to be restricted from competing. But what we did do is extensive outreach to get local artists. We know that there are world-class artists here in Ann Arbor. So we contacted close to 50 local organizations, the Art Alliance, the Art Center, the various street art fairs, to encourage them to have their members apply. We in fact got 6 folks from Michigan that applied. They didn't make the final 4, but we wanted to take particular effort in seeing that every artist that was interested locally got a chance to compete. We did want world-class art, no matter what. In fact, local artists want that. We wouldn't want just all Ann Arbor filmmakers at the Michigan Theater or Ann Arbor folk singers at the Arc. We really want a world-class art. So these were the 4 finalists. And the task force, after interviewing and going through the proposals, selected Catherine Widgery. The reason that Catherine Widgery was selected because she addressed all 3 modes of transportation better than any of the other proposals. Hers was a coherent or a more coherent design, and she had overwhelming support. We put surveys around, we took this to the library and to communities, and everyone loved this project. After we selected, the task force selected Catherine, we really wanted to refine her proposal a bit. So you can see that middle one is the flag that was to hang on light post. the task force recognized that those light posts may not have the structural support to support that kind of artwork. So they went back to Catherine and they asked her if she could consolidate and refine her project a little more. And this is the way we expected this process to happen. So that fence that you see, the task force thought maybe if that could be more dramatic, here's the way.
Keep going.
So this is what these are. Let me see if I can get back to it. So here it are. These are louvered glass etched in shots of trees. So this would be Stadium Bridge on the left and State Street on the right. This is State Street. You can see how they're louvered. They're on both sides of State Street, and they're lit from behind and from in front. And so this is what those ones on Stadium Boulevard would look like, and this is what it would look like from the path. I'd be open to questions. One final thing, however, that not one single dollar of the money spent for this artwork could be used for potholes. So it is not a public art versus pothole issue. And as you all know, potholes are funded by gasoline tax collected by the state. This is different funding, so I want to make that perfectly clear. And Bob and I are open for any questions if you have them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now need to go in to executive session to consider the written opinion of DDA council, and I'll need a motion.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Very good. Moving to closed session. Open session, and note that the motions to go into closed session and to come back into open session were unanimous. Do we have communications from DDA members?
Well, just very briefly, even though our long closed sessions thinned the audience a little bit, just wanted to comment about the bridge thing. With looked like they went through an incredible public process for doing it, and looks from what I can see like a great result out of the DDA area, but nonetheless good to see that type of stuff happening. So.
Any other communications from DDA members?
I do have something about the connector.
Yeah, did you need to add that on the agenda?
Yes, I would like to have a report and actually a resolution dealing with the connector, but I'll do that under the operations committee.
Very good.
Report.
Pages 2 through 11, we have the March 2014 meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I have an amendment.
All right, let me get a support.
Support. Now I have an amendment.
Yes.
On page 5, the vote for the resolution to community support and enhancement of transportation projects, I abstained from that vote instead of an aye.
So noted. Any other changes, corrections?
And I will be more vocal about that in the future.
Thank you.
I just stayed quiet. I didn't know how to do
Which is abstaining, but it's
Right.
helpful for the record taker to be.
Perfect.
Vocally.
Yes,
Vocally
I will vocally
abstaining.
abstain in the future.
Very good. Seeing no other corrections, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Subcommittee reports. Joan?
Okay, for partnerships, I would like to move a resolution that is on page 12.
Support?
Support.
Okay, this is a resolution that we discussed at the partnerships meeting. We received additional details from Jennifer Hall, who's here today, about the Housing Commission request. And the timing of the request will fit in with our DDA budget considerations. As you'll see, if you look at the resolution, it separates the partnership or the grants into 3 fiscal years. And then also, you'll note that there's an additional item here in the resolve. There are really 2 resolves. So actually 3 resolves here. There's another resolve that to extend the term of our March 2013 grant to the Housing Commission, which is $300,000. This is money that we awarded but has not been used yet. So just in case it's not used within this fiscal year, we're going to extend the term of it because otherwise it would sunset. So that's in the resolved, and then in order to do that, we have to amend our budget accordingly. So all those things are in the resolved clauses. And I think if anybody has any, the Partnership Committee recommends approval by the board, but I think if anybody has any additional questions, Jennifer is here today.
I don't have a question. I just want to remind folks that Housing Commission is a longtime client of ours, so I will be abstaining from voting on this.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Abstain.
Opposed? It passes.
We also heard from staff from the county who talked to us about the updated housing needs assessment, and this is the needs assessment is a project that will be done to look at what all the needs throughout the county are, and asked us to provide some of the funding. Our committee, there isn't anything before us today, but the committee was generally supportive of that because that will help us too, and when we look at funding for affordable housing, to know exactly what's out there will be very helpful to us, so we can use that study as well as the county's using it. And so they are going to they're putting out an RFP, and then they will decide on someone to use for this needs assessment, and they'll do it. So we will probably have some more discussion of it at our next committee meeting. And I don't think we have a specific request from them yet for funding, but that probably will be coming. We also talked about the possibility of whether we sort of continued a discussion about whether we should start up again a program that we had a long time ago, which was partnership grants. Those are different from grants to like a brownfield grants, which we used for Zingerman's and also for the South Main project. These would be grants to projects, but the criteria would be similar. So we're looking at what our criteria are for those brownfield grants, and we're still discussing about whether to tweak those a little bit for just kind of an all-over grant criteria. And we'll continue to talk about that at our next meeting. And our next meeting is next week. So that's next Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Thank you. I did note, and you mentioned the Zingerman's Brownfield, that they just received their LEED Gold certificate. So that was part of our contribution. Operations.
I believe I start this one. Let's see, on page 13, we have a resolution regarding Go Pass and other supplemental transit service. So I would move that.
Support.
This resolution continues funding that we've done for, in the case of the Go Pass, and well, I guess in the case of Get Downtown, 12 years now we've been doing Get Downtown. Get Downtown, of course, is a partnership between several organizations, and we've always been supportive of it because that's the whole point, is to get people downtown. So Go Pass has been a huge success in alleviating the parking strain on downtown. The other things are night ride improvements, and the Route 4 and 5, those are the ones that run on Washtenaw and on Packard from downtown Ypsilanti to downtown Ann Arbor, and are, again, very important conduits for downtown workers as well as people coming downtown. We started doing this last year, I believe was our first year of supporting the enhanced services, and we're looking to continue doing that, as well as a first time of doing support for the Express Ride Go Pass discount. Overall, it's about a 10% increase in funding from last year to this, but we believe that the services continue to be good, and we had asked for more information from Nancy regarding some of those programs and their increased use, and feel that the 10% we get at least our 10% worth of services out of, so we felt comfortable with it, and the committee recommends passage.
Very good. And Nancy is in the audience if we have any more questions.
As they are a client of mine, I will be abstaining from this.
No further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Thank you. That passes.
And then I believe I turn it over to Roger, though his first one is also transportation related.
It is. Turn to page 14. A resolution approving a community benefit policy to use when assessing requests for permanent removal of on-street metered parking spaces. And I'd like to move the resolution to the committee.
Support.
A brief history. When we had the original A2D2 zoning, one of the parts that was recommended but not enacted initially was a charge for permanent removal of parking meters from surface streets. And after several years, council passed a ordinance that put that part of the zoning in place with a charge of $45,000 for every meter removed for private purposes. There is an exception when it's done for community benefit, and our staff and the city staff have worked together to come up with a policy that defines what that community benefit is. And I'll find an appropriate page here.
Starting at 15.
Oops, wrong. Okay. Well, in any case, essentially, the community benefit has to be more than something that benefits that specific location or the specific developer. They are guidelines that the city planning staff will use and that we feel appropriate. Essentially, this resolution allows them the authority to use those guidelines when making that determination. There's also an appeal process for the developer should they feel that that is applied inappropriately, that they may appeal to the city administrator, which I believe is also part of the ordinance. So this is essentially putting these guidelines in place for the use of planning staff and DDA staff. Questions?
Discussion? I like the pace at which this is moved.
Yeah.
Process. 5 years for policy. Good.
My original A2D2 zoning process started in 2004.
Though along those lines, this though it sort of codifies, in a sense, the practice. A lot of these things are things that the staff has already been practicing in terms of how they work with a development. So I think that it just seems appropriate to set it down in paper, as it were.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? It passes.
Okay. Next on my list is at the Operations Committee, we received a presentation by Mr. Ben Dahlman for a proposal for the DDA to lease the lot known as the former Y lot that Mr. Dahlman has purchased and operate that as a surface parking lot for the period of 2 years. That I believe that property is now closed. This afternoon. We have removed all our parking equipment from the lot and as requested by the city and are no longer operated as a surface parking lot. We listened to Mr. Dahlman's presentation. We had a number of concerns because of one, the poor condition of the lot, and two, financial concerns on whether this would actually be a financial benefit to the DDA as well as to the community, since we have a significant amount of additional parking adjacent to that lot. We've asked Joe Morehouse and Art Lowe at Republic Parking to do some financial analysis and come back at our next Operations Committee meeting with some information on whether this makes any financial sense to the DDA.
Roger, you mentioned the poor condition. Is that, I mean, I know that there was a kind of experimental concrete. Was that because of any of that, or is it because of the construction?
Both. It was actually a porous asphalt, so there was water permeable, so water would seep through it. But that does not have a very long lifespan. It gets essentially filled up with grime and so forth. Plus, there was some wear and tear, excessive wear and tear on the part where the AATA construction staging was done. In any case, if we were going to operate in a long term, or going to operate at all, it would need to be replaced. And partly it is due because of the nature of that material.
It was never meant to be permanent anyways.
Exactly. We only have operated that after for those who don't know, the old Y building was torn down and the city requested that we operate a surface lot there while they determined what to do with that property. Now they've determined it, they then, of course, asked us then to remove the equipment. So it wasn't actually our lot. There actually wasn't a lot there, 6, 7 years ago.
It seems a significant part of that too is that lot provided some more public parking while the underground parking structure was being built.
Absolutely.
Now that we've got 2 very large parking structures within a block of each other.
We also now have surface parking. We'll also have surface parking on the Library Lane lot that we did, of course, during construction.
Right. Also temporary, but we don't know what that.
As you say, this was temporary too for the last 7 or 8 years. So we're waiting for more information, although we have some significant financial concerns. Next, downtown ambassadors, the status. Everyone has a little request for qualifications for ambassador program development for downtown Arbor. We have discussed a possible ambassador program. We've gotten a fair amount of initial information, including a list of cities that have ambassador programs. I've got a list of 60 here that I won't go through, but they go from Akron, Ohio to Yakima, Washington, and everything from as large as New York City to Eaton, Pennsylvania, which has 27,000 in population. There aren't any exact comparables to Ann Arbor. Every city is different, and every ambassador program seems to be sort of crafted to the city it's in. Some of them do clean and safe. Some of them are mostly customer relations. Some are involve outreach to people who have substance abuse or mental issues. There are a whole range of things that ambassador programs can do. I think we all decided that we needed more information before we could decide whether we should go forward with a program, and certainly what that program should look like or cost. The problem with doing an RFP, or request for proposal approach, is that you pretty much have to know what you're looking for when you start that and commit to that. The request for qualifications will give us an opportunity to gather information, to ask questions without committing ourselves to a particular program, or any program, whether we go ahead with one or not. So it seemed that this would be a prudent way to gather more information from experts in the field who run such programs, and help us make our decision on whether to go forward, and if so, what that should look like and what it should cost. So that's just a report.
And what is the financial implications of this?
There is no real financial implication at this point. There's certainly going to be a time commitment on staff and board members to review the information. Initially, we'll probably just get written information and perhaps then follow up with interviews of selected respondents. But there is no cost involved in it, other than staff time. Okay. Questions? I am now going to insert, I'm not missing anything, both a report on the connector study and a resolution to go along with that. We haven't actually met for a couple months because we have been doing what's called modeling, which is essentially looking at different routes, potential routes of the connector, which would run from, I think we've determined ultimately the northeast, the corner of Plymouth and Green Road, through the along Plymouth Road, through North Campus, the medical center, through downtown, and south to the Briarwood area. We've been trying to determine we've come up with, I think, 6 alternate potential routes, and we've been doing this modeling, which uses very complex software and data. It's done through the Washtenaw Area Transit Study, as well as with consultants from our consultant team. And you come up with what are essentially ridership projections of, if this route, how many riders will ride it, how many people will get on and off at each stop. And we got this rather voluminous amount of data after several months of them crunching numbers, and it was a very complex process from the modeler standpoint. But gave us a fair amount of data, particularly on the southern end of the route, the part south of downtown. There was some discernible difference between different routes. The part north is not nearly as significant in the difference in models. We've came up with 2 preferred routes from the north end through downtown, and we're going back and remodeling those because we made a few changes to them. One is a longer route that has more stops, and one is a shorter route with fewer stops. So that's where we are on that phase. This is certainly drawn out longer than we had anticipated, and I don't think we'll have probably a final report until the end of the summer, as it looks right now. Although we are still well under budget for the process, although over on time. We also spent a fair amount talking about the next phase after this, what is called the alternatives analysis, which is the second phase we're in now, where you come up with what's called a locally preferred alternative of both the mode, the type of vehicle, and the route. You then do a MEPA, which is, I think it's actually in the resolution, but it's basically a environmental impact study, as well as some preliminary engineering to identify areas that may take special attention. We don't have an idea of what that will, we have just a very rough idea of what that will cost now. It would start after the completion of this phase. There is a potential of getting government money for that phase. There is what's called Tiger grants, which are transportation grants from the federal government. There is one where you can apply starting, I believe, tomorrow, and with all information due by the 28th of April. So it's a very small window. The expertise of both the consultants and the people on the committee, and this includes a representative from MDOT, a representative from SEMCOG, a representative from Watts, was that it's probably too early to actually get this money because we probably aren't going to be able to use it until next fall. But it's very good to get in the process and get on the federal funding radar screen. Even if it's probably unlikely we would get it this time, although there's some possibility, but it would certainly help getting in the next round of funding. And we're talking significant dollars here. So one of the many criteria is what sort of partnerships are involved in this, and I think as probably most people know, this is a partnership between what is now AAA, TA, the City of Ann Arbor, the University of Michigan, and the DDA. I have a resolution encouraging the pursuit of Phase 3 for the connector that I'm introducing because I only knew we needed it yesterday, and it has to be in the packet before the next board meeting, so I'm hurriedly bringing it forward today. And the resolve is the DDA urges the pursuit of a connector Phase 3 environmental assessment and preliminary engineering study in partnership with the City of Ann Arbor, AAA, TA, and the University of Michigan, knowing that any funding request to the DDA for its portion of this study will come back to the DDA board for board review and approval. So essentially this is a letter of support.
You'd like to move that?
I would like to move that resolution.
Is there support?
This does not commit us to any funds, but just states that we would be a willing partner in the next phase of the connector study.
Has this been distributed to the audience? Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? None.
Okay, thank you.
Were there anything else for the other parking operations?
No, I think Sean is
Yeah,
dying to talk about
I
Fulton
will
William.
give a brief update of the Fulton William stair elevator removal and replacement. We had Mike Ortlieb and Josh Roseboom from Carl Walker in front of the committee again to go over the plans, see the pictures, etc. And at this point, we will be looking to show the renderings and get some construction input from the Main Street area businesses, and I expect we'll be doing that sometime this month. And that's all I have on that.
All right. And your next meeting?
Wednesday, April 30th at 11 a.m.
Good. Other DDA business, we have something from the FOIA coordinator. Susan?
So, yeah, thank you for letting me have a few minutes. So as your FOIA coordinator, I want to let the board of the DDA know that you have received an appeal. Earlier this month, we had a request for 2 documents, and as is our standard practice, we redacted the personal email addresses for 3 of the board members who were on this email. The appeal has been given to us, saying that there is a disagreement about the practice of redacting personal email addresses. To let you know, 2 of the email addresses I believe are personal, one I believe is a business address. But it has been our practice to do that redaction. And so I'm before you today asking you as the board, you are the people in charge of the DDA. So as your FOIA coordinator, I report to you. And the task in front of you today is to decide if you want to make a motion to grant the appeal, which is to have us to provide unredacted copies of the 2 documents, provide to direction through a motion to deny this appeal, or your third choice is to make a motion to provide a response approving some of this in part, some of the requested redactions. So again, there are 3 email addresses for board members, and 2 of them were, I think, personal, meaning I don't know that they're necessarily business. That's all the best I can describe. And the third was for an individual with a business extension. Again, it being our practice, the redaction took place, and I need now a board action to respond to this, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
I would move we approve the action of the coordinator.
Support.
And to be clear, that is to deny the appeal.
Correct.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved.
Thank you for your time.
We've now come to other audience participation. If anybody would like, we've got 4 minutes. Seeing none, I would hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.